Okay, so welcome to all in this talk, Master Talk, Meet with Master Nutritionist, and this is the first talk we are arranging it, and I'm really thankful to all of you and all the guests here. Like you have been here, and we'll start off with the introduction of each guest, and we'll just token of appreciation. We'll give to them one bouquet, Pushpaguch. Okay, so let me first introduce Zainab. So she has 18 plus years experience in the nutrition. She is a clinical dietitian, sport nutritionist, certified diabetes educator, YouTuber, columnist, corporate consultant. She works with VC. VC is like Women in Sports India. So this is the new organization actually, and New Health, and she hosts webinars for companies like Wipro and Deloitte. She has worked with Lilavati Hospital and Healthify Me as SME, subject matter experts, certified in sports nutrition management and food auditing as well, associated with NFTA, Nutrition and Fitness Trainers Alliance.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome. Didn't realize you've done so much over a period of year.
Thank you. So,
thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
thank you. Now I'm coming to Natalia. Now Natalia Pereira. She is registered dietitian, UGC NET qualified, assistant professorship, diabetic educator, sports nutrition specialist, Ayurveda nutrition specialist as well, medical nutrition therapist, lean certified, worked at HN Reliance, Girgaon, Breach Candy KM Hospital and Wadia Hospital, serviced thousands of patients. Served as head of quality at Healthify Me, trained 2000 plus health experts. Currently head of training and quality at Shamrock Nutrascience Rework. So let's welcome her, Ankita.
Thank you so much.
Now our other esteemed guest, Mudra Koradia Shah. So Mudra is like, she is very hardcore Jain as well. So if you have Jain related queries, you can ask her. She is masters in food and nutrition. She is also certified diabetic educator, certified Ayurveda nutritionist as well. So we have two Ayurveda nutritionists here, those who are certified in Ayurveda. She has recently done certification in yoga as well. She has worked with Healthify Me and Fitness Highway, GoKeep, Health Hatch, Fitterfly, and currently working with Visit as a diet and health consultant. So let's welcome Mudra. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So we always have this confusion. Most of you have knowledge, right? Because there are so many sources available right now, social media. So we have so many sources available. So we always have almost knowledge information like nutritionist, but we don't know how to utilize that nutrition information. So that's why nutrition experts are there to help us. So first question I would like to open with what is the difference between the food groups and nutrient groups? Okay, so we always confuse food groups be same hai, nutrients be same hai, so there is a confusion. So let's understand that basic difference between food groups and nutrient groups. So let's start with Zainab.
So it's a very simple thin line of difference. Food groups are basically where you classify the foods by the different types which are available. That is fruits, vegetables category, then you have nuts and oilseeds category. And when we say nutrient groups, basically that's where you classify, or rather I would say categorize them by the nutrients they are providing. That is carbohydrates, proteins, fats, your vitamins and minerals. So that's the basic thin line of difference.
Okay, great. You people want to add anything?
No, so if you have to take a look at, I think the confusion always lies, like even when Madam asked earlier, कि क्या खाना चाहिए? So common people understand it as food groups mostly, okay? Because fruits, vegetables, cereals, like अनाज जो होता है, ठीक है? That is something that is very easy for them to understand. But when we talk in terms of nutrients, ठीक है? मतलब जो ये food groups है, इनमें कौन से न्यूट्रिएंट्स होते हैं. सो इट इज़ इंटर रिलेटेड, दोनों इंटर रिलेटेड है. इट्स जस्ट दैट कि कार्बोहाइड्रेट रिलेटेड जब हम बोलते हैं मतलब उसमें कार्बोहाइड्रेट सबसे ज़्यादा मात्रा में होता है. जब हम प्रोटीन्स बोलते हैं, प्रोटीन सोर्सेज ऑफ फूड, मतलब द फूड्स जहाँ से हमें फॉर एग्जांपल देयर इज़ एग्स, दाल्स, पल्सेस, इनमें प्रोटीन ज़्यादा मात्रा में आता है. सो फूड ग्रुप्स इज़ फ्रॉम द सोर्स जहाँ से आपको वो पर्टिकुलर इंग्रेडिएंट आता है, और न्यूट्रिएंट विल बी हर एक जो इंग्रेडिएंट है उसमें कौन सा न्यूट्रिशन पाया जाता है. ठीक है.
इसमें मेन कहना है कि आपको कितना कार्बोहाइड्रेट और कितना प्रोटीन, मतलब आप समझिए मान लिया 2 चपाती है तो एक फीमेल के लिए 2 चपाती इज एनफ फॉर द डे, और काफी प्रोटीन लेना चाहिए फॉर टू मेंटेन एक मतलब बॉडी उतना.
I think you
I'll
should
help it.
explain
Yes.
to, yeah.
That would be on the base of your height and weight. There is a customization which is done individually कि आपके लिए या फिर इनके लिए दोनों का एक रिक्वायरमेंट थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट हो सकता है, बट एज अ फीमेल वी कैन कवर बेसिक न्यूट्रिएंट्स विच आर नीडेड फॉर द बॉडी.
पर एक जनरल अपन हाइट पकड़ते हैं ना भाई 5'2", 5'3", 5'4", 2 से
एक एवरेज इंडिविजुअल फीमेल होते हैं ना, उनके लिए 1800 एज पर ICMR ऑल्सो 1800 का एक गाइडलाइन दिया जाता है फॉर कैलोरीज, जिसमें आपका सर्विंग साइज आएगा. कार्ब्स जैसे आप बोल रहे हो कि 4-5 सर्विंग्स आपने कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स लिए, तो दिन में 2 से 3 चपाती अगर आप लेते हो लंच में,
100 आपको एक कार्बोहाइड्रेट की जरूरत है.
कैलोरीज 1800 पूरे दिन की कैलोरीज एक एवरेज, जिनका हाइट और वेट सही है, हाइट के हिसाब से उनका वेट सही है.
I think you should say it in percentage कि like 50% carbohydrates
So
उसमें से
if
like that.
you see in percentage wise also, तो हम देखेंगे कि कार्बोहाइड्रेट मेजर कैलोरी डेंस प्रोडक्ट है, तो पूरे डाइट में से 30 to 40% आपका कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स जाएगा,
ओके
20 to 30% आपका प्रोटीन्स जाएगा. 30 डिपेंड्स, अगर आपका गोल अगर मसल गेन है तो आपका प्रोटीन्स इंक्रीज करना होगा. उसके बाद आता है आपका फैट्स विच इज ऑलमोस्ट 10-20% मैक्सिमम, 20% to 30% to an extent if a person is low weight, and then remaining portion covers your vitamins and minerals. तो अगर आपका जो portion size में देखें तो जो 3 रोटी जो आप बोल रहे हो, that is a better choice, provided आप उसमें भी better selection कर सकते हो, जैसे कि wheat रोटी के बदले you can go for a combination रोटी और a millet रोटी.
हाँ, कॉम्बिनेशन को भी कई लोग गलत बोलते हैं कि आप चना मत मिक्स करो, जौ मिक्स मत करो, कोई लोग 9 अनाज मिक्स करते हैं, कोई बोले वो गलत है.
बट अगेन वो वेरी करता है मैम. देखिए फ्रॉम पर्सन टू पर्सन, लाइक 2 people स्टेइंग इन द सेम हाउस, राइट, सेम इंग्रेडिएंट्स है, लेकिन किसको क्या सूट करता है वो वेरी करेगा. अपार्ट फ्रॉम योर जेंडर, योर एज, योर एक्टिविटी पैटर्न, आप कितने बजे सोते हो, आपकी ओवरऑल डे की लाइफस्टाइल.
जनरलाइज में अगर अपन ले तो मिक्स अनाज की रोटी फायदेमंद है.
फायदेमंद है.
फायदेमंद है.
अगर आप
आपकी
प्लेन गेहूं की
गलत
भी
health
रोटी
के
लोगे
हिसाब
वो भी फायदेमंद है. Anything excess or less is something which is not correct. That's the reason we say that balanced nutrition is important. But then balanced nutrition eventually can also undergo a lot of changes. Like you can't have a set diet. जो ingredients है वो same रहेंगे, लेकिन उनकी percentage है, उनका क्या vary करता है ratio, वो as per age, as per time, as per activity level वो vary करेगा. You all can add to it.
So एक चीज़ I'll just answer her basic question कि एक रोटी खानी है कि 2 रोटी खानी है. आई थिंक दैट इज़ वन थिंग कि कितना खाना चाहिए. तो न्यूट्रिशन जो है अभी बहुत इवॉल्व हो चुका है, भले आप आयुर्वेद देखो ही मॉडर्न साइंस जो भी देखो, और एक वन साइज़ फिट ऑल नहीं होता है. ठीक है, मल्टीपल रीजंस. मेरे घर में जो रोटी बनती है वो इतनी बड़ी होगी, आपके घर में फुल्का साइज़ की होगी, तो मैं ऐसे बोल ही नहीं सकती कि आप एक खाओ. आपकी एक मतलब मेरी शायद से मेरी एक रोटी आपकी 3 फुल्के के बराबर होगी शायद. ठीक है, सो दैट इज़ वन. सेकेंड थिंग, आपका जो कैलोरिक रिक्वायरमेंट है उसके हिसाब से वो रोटी डिफाइन होती है. सो से आपकी जो एक छोटी पाम साइज़ फुल्का रहता है जो 30 ग्राम का होता है, ठीक है, ये 30 ग्राम 100 कैलोरीज देते हैं. तो अगर आपका बजट 1200 का है या 1500 का है, डिपेंडिंग अपॉन योर गोल कि आपको वज़न घटाना है या वज़न बढ़ाना है, उसके हिसाब से वो रोटी हर एक मील में एलोकेट होती है. तो लास्ट क्वेश्चन बचा 2 खानी है कि 1. अगर 1200 के डाइट पे हो तो आप 1 खा सकते हो या 1.5 खा सकते हो, डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द साइज ऑफ योर रोटी. डज दैट आंसर योर बेसिक क्वेश्चन?
ठीक है.
With regards to millets, millets are very healthy. तो हम ऐसे नहीं बोल सकते कि उसमें सिर्फ कैलोरीज आता है, जो हम अभी लाइक वी स्पोक अबाउट न्यूट्रिएंट्स, ठीक है। जब अनाज देखते हैं तो प्राइमरी कंपोनेंट ऑफ अनाज इज कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स, जो कोई भी आप रोटी खाओ या मिलेट्स खाओ, ज्वार बाजरा मिक्स खाओ, अल्टीमेटली आपको वो 100 कैलोरीज ही देगा आप इतनी रोटी खाओगे तो भले आप मिक्स खाओ या भले आप ज्वार खाओ, बट द डिफरेंस इज कि अगर आप मिक्स करते हो तो आपको ज़्यादा माइक्रो न्यूट्रिएंट्स मिलते हैं कंपेयर टू जब भी आप सिर्फ एक ही चीज़ खाते हो, ठीक है।
ठीक है, so let's take it ahead. So since we have these two Ayurveda nutritionists as well, they have done Ayurveda nutrition certification as well. So we'll try to understand the basic difference between modern nutrition science and Ayurveda, science, Ayurveda food science. So what's the difference?
See, Ayurveda science is practicing wise or strategically it is different because as per Ayurveda we have three doshas in our body: Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. So Ayurveda planning goes in balancing all the three doshas. We have inbuilt Prakriti which is fixed. When we are born, as our genetics are fixed, our Prakriti is fixed. So one Prakriti is already set, and the imbalance between Vata, Pitta, and Kapha needs to be get balanced with the diet. So Ayurveda focuses on balancing all the three doshas. Along with that, Ayurveda do have seasonal recommendations. All seasons are not same. जैसे winters में ऐसे कि भाई ज़्यादा भूख लगती है. Why? Because the Agni, that is the Jathar Agni, that is the digestive fire that we have, is very high in winter. So you feel more hungry, but that does not happen in summer. So Ayurveda do consider the seasonal changes also. Along with that, when you see Ayurveda work on biological clock also, they want the food to be happened on time. They don't appreciate late night meals. They want the food meals to be taken on the right time, evening time, breakfast time. Depending on the digestive fire, the food needs to be given to them. Early mornings, the digestive fires are not so excited. So maybe a milder food or maybe a lighter food can be taken in the breakfast. Then comes your lunch where the digestive fire is super good. So full meal and then the dinner. So when we practice modern science and Ayurveda works in a different way strategically. And modern science is basically working on taking all the macronutrients and micronutrients and its beneficial effect on the health. Like how good it is on the body. Say for example, if it's diabetes, we work on cutting on the carbohydrates. Or if a person is iron deficient, we work on giving more iron in the diet. So modern science work with nutrient and the health. In case if
सो आई थिंक इन्होंने आयुर्वेदा सबसे अच्छे से और सिंपलेस्ट फॉर्म में एक्सप्लेन किया है टू अंडरस्टैंड, बट आई थिंक एज कॉमन पीपल हमें एक चीज़ हमेशा रहता है कि क्या फॉलो करना है, आयुर्वेद फॉलो करना है कि मॉडर्न साइंस फॉलो करना है. इट्स ऑलवेज अ कन्फ्यूजन. एंड सेकेंड थिंग, देर आर वेरी फ्यू पीपल हु आर क्वालिफाइड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि आपके बॉडी की प्रकृति कौन से टाइप की है. वी वर जस्ट डिस्कसिंग दैट ऑल्सो. तो टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट बाय नाभि परीक्षण, टू नो कि आपकी प्रकृति कौन से टाइप की है, वेदर यू आर हैविंग मोर ऑफ पित्त और यू आर हैविंग मोर ऑफ अनदर क्वालिटी. सो डिपेंडिंग ऑन दैट यू वुड हैव टू डिसाइड कि कौन से फूड्स आपके डाइट में ऐड करने हैं टू बैलेंस दैट दोष. ठीक है, सो दैट इज इम्पॉर्टेंट. नाउ इफ यू गो टू अ राइट प्रैक्टिशनर, दे विल बी एबल टू गाइड यू. बट आफ्टर ऑल ऑफ दिस, बाय प्रिस्क्राइबिंग आयुर्वेद एंड मॉडर्न, देर इज ऑलवेज अ मिक्स. ठीक है, there is never something that is wrong. For example, earlier people were farmers. Most of our ancestors, older history, जब भी ठंडी का मौसम आता है, they put ghee and all of that. So there is a mix of everything. Okay, so instead of following one, following the other, I think we need to imbibe something like a one way in which you are able to benefit from both. So I'm not saying कि आप constantly Ayurveda करो या constantly सिर्फ modern nutrition follow करो. Because with modern nutrition also comes a lot of inclusion of these processed foods. For example, even supplements for that matter, ये processed होते हैं ना ultimately. अगर वो process नहीं करेंगे तो थोड़ी ना हमें वे isolate मिलेगा. Correct? But we know that at certain point in time, certain nutrients like L-glutamine, जो हम usually prescribe करते हैं for certain individuals, for IBS or multiple other things, it's needed. Why? Because you need to cure, you need to treat something. So depending upon what कि आपको क्या issue है at that point in time, I think you have to decide which approach you would want to take. So it's never, again coming back to the first thing what I said, it's never a one size fit all. Okay, it will not be एक दो तीन या यही करना है. But I do know that both of these sciences have an algorithm or have a protocol. So if followed well, it obviously gives results. And at the end, human body, though we say it's a machine, no, we don't know how it reacts at what point in time. So we need to try the algorithm, try the method and see if that's actually helping. अगर वो नहीं help करता है, then we have to figure out why it is not working out and then devise a best strategy for helping you.
And nowadays what happens कि अभी बहुत लोग vegan हो तो दूध मत पियो.
उस पे आएंगे हम लोग, ये है, हम लोग आते हैं उस पे. तो पहले जो हम लोग ने स्टार्च पे स्टार्ट किया था ना, कार्ब्स पे स्टार्ट किया था, तो वेट लॉस के हिसाब से, बिकॉज वेट लॉस इज समथिंग लाइक मोस्ट पीपल आर कंसर्न अबाउट.
He is having some query.
Does dosha changes over a period of time or it remains?
It changes over a period of time. See, on the later age, when the person is old age, maybe 50s ke above, they are landing up into vata dosha. They have good amount of vata inside the body. So they have lots of knee issues, pain issues, back issues. All that pain is because of vata. So as the ages go, like first 20, then 20, 30, then 30, 40, 50s, 50, 60s, these are the variations of dosha happens. But individually, your prakriti is something different, which you have born and got it with you as a genetic. Plus, your genetic is, say, for example, it's a pitta, and you have made your lifestyle so bad that you have led it to kapha. So now again, we need to take you back to pitta.
Seasons also.
Dosha he has, or he has to only consult a Ayurvedic specialist?
Ideally, Nadi Parikshan is the best way to understand current situation of what you are landing in. Like they immediately check your Nadi and tell you where you stand or what dosha has been imbalanced, and accordingly they treat, because dosha is related with diseases also. So you come up with some problem and go to doctor that I have diabetes. So they'll check your doshas and then they tell you, okay, acha, this is right now imbalance and let me balance this, it will get settled up.
So that's the best way, but like what he was also asking, like how will you able to understand? Sometimes you have symptoms. Certain symptoms can also tell you कि हाँ ये आप कफ प्रकृति के हो सकते हो because आपको इतने सारे ये issues है. Okay, specifically certain individuals who have a lot of GI related issues.
Correct.
ठीक है. Then also some people who innately have a lot of things of like थोड़ा भी ठंडी आ जाता है तो they get cold cough.
हाँ.
ठीक है. So these are different prakriti. There is kapha, there is vata, there is pitta.
Cold cough, what is that dosha?
So
This
This
change in
is-
season is maybe because of kapha dosh,
Kapha.
and even your
Pitta
pitta is
also.
imbalance. Your pitta is also, even people do have early graying of hair. So they all are because of pitta imbalance.
And a lot of gut and digestive issues.
Gut and
as
digestive
well.
issues are also because of pitta and vata imbalance.
it's a mix. It's a mix because you may have both of it also together, and it's also inflammation at the end.
And your query for inflammation also, you wanted to know for inflammation also. That is also related
Associated with
So I never take any kind of drug, never have taken any drug. So means, is it important that this dosh needs to be cured at the very early stages, or we can
But we don't know whether you have any dose. You are healthy right now, don't have any symptoms. You don't have any health related issues. So ideally we consider by just moving to a healthy lifestyle, doing lots of activity or controlling your stress, doing pranayam will balance all the things together. If you come up with some issues, then we have to see what is imbalanced and we have to work on that diet accordingly.
Also, just one more thing, like while we were discussing it, this came to my mind. Sometimes, no, we are healthy, but just because we read all of this, then there's this word dosha. Then it comes to our head that I have something wrong within me. But you must never take it typically with the word.
Yes.
That's how it is being defined in Ayurveda. Because sometimes that has a lot of effect on the way that your mind works. So even if you may not have that, it kind of, just comes in symptoms. So let's not do that at any point in time, and the correct way is always Nadi Pariksha.
Nadi
And there are specialists to do that. I am not trained in that though.
So what they are actually saying, the way word is dosha, but it doesn't mean that you
Correct.
have
It is-
dosha.
it is
There's
dosha.
some
There is
problem.
dosha in
Correct.
you.
So
The
it's
word is
all
just
about
a
your
terminology.
prakriti. Ha.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll just move towards weight loss right now. So few things related to weight loss. Like most of the times, like it is said that you should avoid gluten. You should avoid most of the starch, and then rice is like most of the nutritionists say like you shouldn't eat rice. like if you are eating if you want to eat as well, and if you're very feel like you feel like eating rice, then you have it this much only. So I just want to understand, because see, when we consider India, we have coastal area. It's a very long coastal area, starting from Gujarat, Maharashtra, and then going towards the Bengal. So there is a staple diet, like they fish and rice. So they don't put on the weight, like those who are already like not staying up in metropolitan area or the city area, but they staying in their own area of like particular area, but they are completely fine. But why then even people also, like they will first ask you, like should I leave the rice, should I stop eating the rice?
So when we talk about, I'll begin with step by step. When we talk about weight loss, first we need to understand what is the cause of weight gain in the individual. Many research studies actually say that most of the time it's not what we talk about, which is carbs. ठीक है, जो हम बात कर रहे हैं अभी, for example roti, rice we're talking about, it may not be carbs. ठीक है, it is actually a deficiency of protein intake. ओके, मे बी आपको जितना प्रोटीन खाना है आप उतना नहीं खा रहे हो, बिकॉज ऑफ विच आपके बॉडी में जो से 100% आपका बॉडी मास है उसमें मसल मास कम है, बिकॉज आप प्रोटीन कम खा रहे हो. तो आइडियली इंस्टेड ऑफ अवॉइडिंग सर्टेन फूड ग्रुप लाइक वी डिस्कस्ड, यू स्टार्ट इनकॉर्पोरेटिंग मोर प्रोटीन्स. तो जब आप प्रोटीन इनकॉर्पोरेट करते हो, तो से फॉर एग्जांपल मैं 1200 कैलोरीज खाती हूँ, अभी मुझे प्रोटीन डालना है, तो एज अ ह्यूमन आप क्या करोगे, प्रोटीन एक्स्ट्रा खाओगे. बट इफ़ यू कंटिन्यू टू ईट अदर थिंग्स व्हाट यू आर ईटिंग द सेम, तो आपका कैलोरीज भी बढ़ेगा ना. विल दैट हेल्प इन वेट लॉस? इट विल नॉट. ठीक है, सो व्हाट यू हैव टू डू इज़ कि आपको वो प्रोटीन जो एक्स्ट्रा कर रहे हो वो किसी और न्यूट्रिएंट से आपको रिप्लेस करना पड़ेगा. ठीक है, नाउ द मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द अदर न्यूट्रिएंट दैट यू कंज्यूम इज कार्बोहाइड्रेट. सो दैट्स वाई वी रिलाई ऑन कि आप कार्बोहाइड्रेट थोड़ा कम कर दो और उसके रिप्लेसमेंट में आपका प्रोटीन खाओ. दैट्स द सिंपलेस्ट फॉर्म. सो दैट्स वाई दे से कि राइस थोड़ा कम करो. ठीक है, अनदर रीज़न ऑल्सो इज़ राइस का जो ग्लाइसीमिक इंडेक्स है वो हाई है. ठीक है, तो जब भी आप प्लेन राइस खाते हो विदाउट एनी फाइबर, विदाउट एनी अदर न्यूट्रिएंट, इट्स वेरी लाइकली कि आपके बॉडी में जो ग्लूकोज है वो फटाक से रिलीज होता है. ठीक है, फॉर अ लॉन्गर पीरियड ऑफ टाइम अगर आप ज़्यादा राइस खा ही रहे हो, दैट कॉन्स्टेंट राइज इन शुगर्स ऑल्सो लीड्स टू मोर इंसुलिन बीइंग प्रोड्यूस. इससे क्या होता है, इंसुलिन रेजिस्टेंस, डायबिटीज़. सो आई एम नॉट सेइंग राइस इज कॉजिंग इट, आई एम जस्ट सेइंग कि हम अनहेल्दी अनबैलेंस्ड डाइट खाने की वजह से वो होता है. तो इफ़ यू बैलेंस इट, इंक्रीज प्रोटीन, रिड्यूस कार्ब्स, रिड्यूस अ लिटिल बिट ऑफ राइस, it's going to help you in weight loss. Okay, so it's just the way it has been portrayed. So again, the root cause is understand the cause first and then fix. So it will not be कि सबको राइस बंद कर देना है आज से जाके. ठीक है, it will depend.
And plus, what you need to understand that, see, there are even, it varies as per region, as per body type, right? Every area, they have a certain eating pattern, they have a certain body type. So that is also one reason which really plays a very important role, right? Like we are in the metropolitan cities, we have long gaps, how our sleeping pattern is, timing is, they may be having same, but हर एक का एक body type रहता है, एक region का एक eating pattern रहता है, एक cuisine रहता है, एक set way रहता है. Those are small things also which also important, are very important.
One more thing, even for the rice, people is worried कि brown rice खाए कि white rice खाए. That normally come up. See, पहले के टाइम पे ना राइस को मिलिंग और एक्सेस प्रोसेसिंग नहीं किया जाता था. सो द फाइबर वॉज स्टिल इंटेक्ट इन द राइस. नाउअडेज जो वाइटर राइस होते जा रहे हैं तो उसका जीआई बढ़ते जा रहा है. तो राइस हैव अ क्वालिटीज. रेड राइस विच हैव लेसर जीआई कंपेयर टू वाइट राइस. ब्राउन राइस है तो उसका जीआई थोड़ा सा कम है. सो दे आर गुड फॉर डायबिटिक. तो अगर हम राइस को लेना ही है तो वी कैन शिफ्ट टू मिलेट राइस, ब्राउन राइस, रेड राइस. और उसमें भी when we add vegetables, we add fiber to the rice. Basically rice don't have good fiber. So जब हम राइस, दाल और सब्जी साथ में ले लेते तो it becomes a proper balanced plate.
जो आपकी normal Indian plate है,
हाँ,
दाल,
अपना
चावल,
Indian
रोटी,
थाली है.
सब्जी.
तो
That's
वो
why we
सारे
call it
cover
as
हो जाता है
balanced
उसमें.
meal.
Okay, abhi coming to dairy wala question what Anju ji was asking. See, so what about dairy products? Like most of the people, like now there are 3 to 4 types of people, like non-vegetarian, vegetarian, vegan, vegetarian. So what about dairy
And even
products?
gluten.
हाँ,
Yeah,
gluten.
so dairy
they-
products like
in relation to weight loss.
Yeah.
So they don't, I will not say that they are bad, right? See, dairy and the gluten which is there, it's a wheat protein. It's a protein which is present in wheat. So they can absolutely be consumed by everyone. There is no problem. Yes, there are certain individuals probably who have a certain digestive issue or a gut issue where dairy and gluten are very possible. They are quite likely to give people, like they can trigger acne, they can trigger inflammation, hormonal disturbances. Again, the protein which is present in wheat, that is gluten, at times it can give people bloating, cramps. That's the time they become sensitive to that. Actually, if you go to see, we are not gluten sensitive. Over a period of time, the processing of wheat which has gone, it has increased. If you see, the grains were taller before, but these days the grains are a little shorter. And the kind of processing technique which I was reading as per recent research articles is, it was 3% and now it has gone to about 12%. Hence, the level at which our gut can tolerate that gluten, that's the reason it is affected. So you can see the difference in the processing techniques. So otherwise, dairy and gluten have no problem. The wheat has no problem. You don't need to opt them specifically or go devoid of them for weight loss. It is overall your balanced diet, being physically active, having good sleep, very important. Your sleep is very crucial. You may have everything in place, but if your sleeping pattern is not correct, you're not getting your adequate 7 to 9 hours of sleep with the kind of lifestyle we're having these days, you're not going to get ideal results. But yes, these do pose as like dairy at times affects certain people. That varies from person to person, whether you're lactose intolerant or you're having lactose maldigestion, where you can tolerate plain milk because you cannot tolerate plain milk because it has high residue. But the moment it's converted to a product, the bacteria become gut friendly. So then that's something which suits your gut. Same with your gluten. At times, people are not able to tolerate at a moderate level. So maybe, instead of having two chapatis, like I had a couple of clients, they were able to tolerate one. Something beyond that is something which gave them a lot of cramps and bloating.
So any food you eat and then you feel, like you're uncomfortable after you have
Feeling of
it.
fullness.
Yeah, fullness. So that is not good for your body.
But have you noticed if you have chewed your food well? Have you had your food in a hurried manner?
Yeah.
Have you spread your meals well through the day? Have you hydrated well? Or maybe you've rushed through your meals, because that is something which is very common, right? So you have more than what is even required for your system, right? If anyone would like to add on something to
I
it.
would like to ask another question here, like whether like there is a question as well, whether cow milk we should consume like buffalo milk, like what kind of milk we should consume.
Depending on the goals, like if a person is opting for a weight loss, definitely the fat percentage in cow's milk is lesser compared to buffalo's milk. So if the goal is to maintain the weight or to reduce the weight, then opt for a cow's milk without cream maybe, and maybe the products made from the cow's milk. Say for example, if paneer needs to be added, you can use cow's milk ka paneer. Curd needs to be added, you can use cow's milk ka curd, which is very similar to low fat milk. Basically market have low fat milk also.
Low fat milk, tetra pack milk.
Tetra pack आता है, तो it is very similar. Cow's milk, if you get in a good organic way, then you can opt for a cow's milk instead of that Tetra pack. But yes, without cream if you are opting for a weight loss. But if there is no weight loss and there is no health condition like cholesterol or triglycerides, anything, then you can opt for buffalo milk also. If you're planning to gain the weight, buffalo milk can help you out there.
And nowadays what happens, doctors are telling if there's any health issue, मतलब bone related, they are always telling you to have milk. कि everybody have to consume it. And जब weight के उसमें आते हैं तो you shouldn't have milk.
So usually what happens now, many of the people who come with weight issues is because they've put on weight. With knee issues is because they put on weight. So in that case, there is, I think, a challenge which is always there, because I've seen many clients कि दूध नहीं लेना है because उससे वजन मेरा बढ़ रहा है, but दूध लेना भी है because मुझे calcium चाहिए. So what do we do then? The thing is, first you have to understand for what you're taking it. Okay, are you taking it for proteins? Are you taking it for calcium? Are there other sources of proteins? अगर आप दूसरे protein sources पे rely कर सकते हो, then you need not add. Because if you're going with a knee issue, if you're going with osteopenia, if you're going with any bone depletion issues, you will always be on calcium supplements, which is meeting your 100% RDA, ideally. सो इफ़ दैट इज़ द केस देन आपको एक्सेस कैल्शियम या एक्सेस प्रोटीन के लिए वो मिल्क लेना ज़रूरी ही नहीं है. Okay, now coming to a point of intolerance for milk, okay, which we talk about, lactose intolerance. So what has happened is because there is so much of hype for milk. Also another reason is because cows have been injected with hormones, because of which we don't want to have milk and all of that. There has been a time now people have stopped consuming milk. अभी suddenly you remember अभी मुझे कैल्शियम लेना है, मैं जाके दूध पीऊँगा. The body has forgotten to digest the milk. ठीक है? So that's why the bloating, that's why the cramps, because your body doesn't know how to digest it. But if you're going to reintroduce milk the same way that you introduce milk for your child, okay, wherein you dilute the milk, give it, increase it, give it alternate days, okay, you may probably develop absorbing or digesting the
Better
milk.
adaptability
Yes.
to it.
ठीक है? So now it depends. Is it a vegetarian who cannot actually have any other protein sources and is relying on that? Do you want to try it? If there is no allergen, that means they're not allergic severely to it, they can have. Like for example, my own family, my in-laws are all intolerant to milk because they don't have milk at home. And I drink like a cat. Okay, but unfortunately my son cannot digest milk because they carry the same genes.
Can't tolerate milk.
Yes.
Okay, then
So he does not, but he does not need to rely on milk, no? He's having calcium from vegetables, he's eating palak, he likes cucumbers, he eats vegetables, he eats pulses. So there are other sources that you can rely on. It's not a compulsion, but yes, one thing which nutritionists always tell is don't omit a food group completely, because every food group, like for example dairy, adds certain nutrients which you may not get from other food groups. For example, I suppose don't want to take dairy for calcium, I don't want to take it for proteins, but I want to include probiotics. Okay, so there are some people who do tolerate, like my son, he tolerates yogurt. So yeah, so he takes yogurt.
Even your B complex, B12.
Correct.
B12
So
is
it is all personalized, and remember I told at the start, अगर आपके फैमिली में स्टार्टिंग से आप वो खा रहे हो, आपको वो टॉलरेट हो रहा है तो आप कर सकते हो. Okay. Now I had a client who was from North India, and she's lived all her life in South India and eaten dosas and idlis and all of that. Suddenly she realized on the CGM, जो अभी fancy machine हम पहनते हैं, कि sugars are always high. But all her life she has eaten dosas and idlis. So why are sugars high? Because she is innately a North Indian who usually eats rotis. Okay, we don't know unless and until we test it, but that was an analogy that we derived. So when we reduced the rice, because they usually don't eat more of rice, it's not available in Northern India. That is not the primary source of cereals. So then you have to go back and trace, okay, what is it that really works for you? So what works for you? Multiple reasons, maybe because of community, culture, from where you come, what you've been doing, how your habits are, that will define what kind of diets you should actually include, or whether you really need to avoid gluten or you need to avoid
You
that.
need to understand and analyze your own body rather than, I think, being too overcritical and going with the trends, which are there everywhere.
Okay. So we'll come to, like we were asking about dairy. So dairy products does have some protein as well, like just carbs and fat, and it includes proteins as well. So we want to understand here, like, somebody is on weight loss journey, or, somebody is like, totally vegan or vegetarians, and then like, how they will, fulfill their need of protein, and how much protein is required, per person. Like they say according to body weight, but is there any variation
Yeah,
nowadays?
there is a calculation basically. Ideally, a normal individual needs around 0.8 to 1 gram per kg body weight of the proteins. So, if you are a vegan, maybe you don't want to use any dairy product, you can opt from soybean if no thyroid is there, or you can opt from other protein substances like all dals, pulses, sprouts, millets also have some proteins. So this way you can opt for proteins, maybe tofu made from soybean. If you don't want to use normal paneer, you can add tofu in your diet and get on with the proteins. So this way proteins have other sources. We have vegetarian sources for protein. So which we can take it up from that sources if you don't feel to use dairy as a protein source.
I think this protein is something which is
Yeah, which is actually everybody wants
Favorite topic.
हाँ,
Most
hype
high.
हुआ
And
yeah.
gluten free.
And gluten, yeah, protein and gluten.
So somebody wants to build muscle like you, okay? So they should have more protein then, or
So
that's enough.
again, the latest ICMR guidelines in 2025 that is being released is after analyzing a lot of Indian population, they've said that you don't need to give excessively high amount of proteins. There is a limit to which that you can increase. So there have been times that I've seen people actually having 2.5, 3 grams.
Yes.
Now those are specifically for those great sports players like Olympians or people doing heavy weightlifting,
Weightlifters.
and they are done
Weightlifters.
under under supervision of
Yeah.
nutritionists, of doctors. But for normal individual, like what Mudra mentioned, about 0.8 to 1. Okay, so अगर 60 किलो का आपका weight है man, then 60 grams of protein is an ideal that they should consume. Now what happens when I am overweight? अगर मेरा 120 किलो वजन है, तो should I have 120 grams of protein? No. You need to eat proteins as per your ideal weight.
Ideal body
What your ideal weight should be. Because then you will be overloading your kidneys. Okay, and kidneys are working hard to throw your proteins and all the waste outside after digesting it. So then that causes another problem of kidney issues because of high protein intake. So you don't need to have more, you need to eat normal balanced meal. अगर आप normal meals जैसे हम Indian meals में follow करते हैं breakfast, lunch and dinner, okay, with thoda snacks, if you're eating that healthily with a balanced plate, you're eating about 50 to 60 grams of protein on a daily basis. So you don't need to extraordinarily supplement unless you are not able to tolerate for some reason.
But would that not also change for like kids who are more active compared to us who are having comparatively a sedentary lifestyle? Like we are sitting alone, the kids are active.
Correct. So,
That 0.8 to 1%, is it like
so for pediatrics, for babies below 18 years, from 0 to 18 in fact, every age group, whether it is 0 to 2, 3 to 6, 7 to 9, then 9 to 12, 12 to
14 to
15,
16.
15 about till 18, there are different recommendations of protein. We don't follow the standard of 0.8 to 1 for them. This
For
is
the
only
adult.
for
See, the adult
adults.
requirements will vary from
Will
the teen
vary.
requirements and the elderly requirements, right?
And you'd be surprised that for pediatrics, for smaller like babies, say 4 years, 5 years, the requirement of protein is very less. Okay, it's not very high.
Yeah.
It's just about, say, about for 4 to 6 years, it's about 20, 25 grams. Okay, it's very less. So you don't need to stuff protein in your child. They need more energy.
They need more carbs actually
To
because
run
they are
around.
so
Fiber,
active.
calcium,
Yeah.
definitely iron for bone and growth.
People just
They are
want to go
active.
and have protein. There's no need actually.
See,
I think there is one
nothing,
question.
there is no requirement of protein, there is requirement.
But over
yes,
is,
like the word supplement, if you say protein supplement, what does the word supplement mean? It supplements your diet, it doesn't substitute your natural intake, right? Yes, maybe as per your activity levels, you're into moderate activity or into intense activity, that time your requirements will vary. You can definitely add on your supplements, but then does not mean that your natural intake needs to be compromised, right? Plus your hydration is equally important, how much water you're taking so that they are properly utilized, absorbed. So that all is equally important.
because excess protein is also difficult to digest.
Digest.
Proteins are heavy to digest. If hydration has not happened well, you will end up with bloating, constipation,
And we
and
Asians are
gut-related
anyways
issues.
overall
Yes.
very low on our intake. And
These are very intelligently made actually. They can even take it from the normal food.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
There's
Yeah,
one more
Ankita is
question.
asking.
from Yash.
like we talk about protein, carbs, like how we can calculate in our daily diet whatever we are eating. See, like if we are having dal and roti, sabzi, paneer we have taken 1 glass of milk. So like that, all those things are enough for the how we can measure.
So there are a lot of applications now.
You
nowadays.
can download Healthify Me as well.
Yeah, they do
Absolutely.
have
Not-
calculations to it.
Yeah.
There are a lot of applications these days which will tell you how much you need
And
to.
this information is available free. You don't need to take their plans. You just download any
Yes.
app and just feed it. Then you will get the whole micronutrients as well and nutrients as well. So all details. Yeah. Even in Healthify Me also you will get it that. There are so many apps available.
But that is one part of the question as to how will I know what I'm eating. The second, which is the most important, is how will I know how much I should eat. Okay, for that it is different. It varies from person to person. Like how we said, even for kids, even for adults, there are different bifurcations for overweight, for medium weight, and there are different categories of obesity depending on what grade you fall in, what comorbidities you have. So then you will have to define according to that how much is your requirement. For that, you need to speak to a registered dietitian, understand your requirement, and then you can take a lead from there.
Because it's going to be a totally personalized approach, right?
Perfect weight of the body, like
Ideal weight, according to ICMR, it's 60 kilos for a
Yeah,
woman.
for the female, sedentary female.
Yes, and 65 to 70 for a
65 to
male.
70 for an adult male.
Yeah.
Which height?
For a woman, it is 160 or
60.
150 something.
150 and
150
for males,
centimeters
about
for
160.
females and 160.
160, 65 is for males.
65.
So average height they have
Average
taken.
Indian man and woman.
when after woman.
That's a height. That is what they say because
like a
they're
benchmark.
considering that as in height and weight.
Yeah,
I think
but
that
there
madam
are-
had a question.
For making our immunity strong, what is the most essential things in nutrition? Like everything is very difficult to follow. There are so many things to be disciplined, but 100% is not possible to be. But for making it strong immunity, it is most important.
So for immune boosting, the first thing is your diet has to be balanced, which is very important because if you're not getting the basic nutrients that your body needs for the everyday, for example, I'll give an analogy here. If you want to go from here to Goregaon station, you need fuel in your car. So same thing if you want to perform your daily activities, even the fact that I'm talking right now, I need to give food. If I'm not giving the right kind of food, I will not be able to perform my activities. So for immunity, the basic thing is a balanced diet. In the absence of balanced diet, then you will fall sick and you'll have issues. Now, how do you strengthen your immunity, which is your question? There are
Like sleep is more important, the balanced diet is more important.
both are
Both
important.
are important.
See,
Absolutely.
four
Both are
factors are there: diet, exercise, sleep, and stress.
They're like the four
They are
pillars.
four wheels of your healthy body car, I would say. Diet, exercise, sleep, and stress. They all the four things, like how we balance dosha, that these four things needs to be balanced every day. Every day, some minutes of activity, every day, good diet. Doing some pranayam to control your stress because stress is everywhere. You can't control over stress. So you need to do some pranayam. Yeah, but do some pranayam so that it does not come up to your mind. So diet, exercise, sleep, and stress. This four thing needs to be balanced every day.
And in fact, your immunity tends to also get compromised due to high levels of stress. Your immunity, your immune levels even tend to get compromised because of high levels of stress. That equally is important. So, hence, your mental health, your proper sleeping patterns, sound sleep, reducing your screen time, these all things are equally important and conductive for good health. So, definitely, see, you cannot give your 100%, but you can take an effort to balance wherever you can. Right?
Everything has to be balanced.
Yes, at least a little bit of everything,
little.
right? Because that's how you'll progress towards a good state of health.
Immunity is strong, then it's easy to reduce the weight, and if we are balanced in everything, then we can reduce the weight very fast because we control on all of the other things, diet, stress.
Absolutely. And see, sometimes it's
correct,
not only
correct.
weight. A person who's on the healthier side or on the heavier side, if you go to check the lipid profiles, they may be spot on. And someone who's on the leaner side may have elevated levels of lipid.
Yes.
So there are a lot of factors. It could be genetics, it could be family history, it could be lifestyle. The way the nutrients are processed in the body, metabolized in the body, that also varies from person to person.
It is hereditary also.
That is one factor, but we cannot blame completely on genetics, right? How you also take care of your eating patterns, your lifestyle, your sleeping patterns, your nature, your behavior, even that governs your food choices. So that all is equally important.
Overweight is not related to immunity.
It is interrelated.
But a thin person can also have low immunity.
Even an over, yes,
Yes, yes,
absolutely,
yes.
absolutely. Doesn't being thin does not mean always being healthy, right? That person can also have a higher percentage of fat.
Fats are also of many types, basically.
Yes.
Visceral fat, which goes inside the body, which is actually more dangerous. The one which we have beneath the skin, they are the subcutaneous fat. In case if you gain weight and it's just the beneath the skin, you just
gain weight, but there is no visceral fat or very less or controlled amount of visceral fat, you will not land up with
So just
cholesterol
explain
issues.
where
Okay.
exactly visceral fat is
See,
there.
fat
Abdominal organs.
inside the organs, near the liver, near the organs. You must have seen people coming up with fatty liver. So what is fatty liver? They are the visceral fat. When you eat food and when the food gets converted to visceral fat more, you'll end up with fat related issues like fatty liver hai, ya fir triglycerides on the higher side, cholesterol on the higher side. So visceral fat is more dangerous compared to subcutaneous fat, which is beneath the skin, which can be easily removed by doing exercise.
There's just one thing that comes to my mind while we are talking all of this. इतनी सारी चीजें करनी पड़ेगी. There is already stress.
Exactly, and that comes with the stress.
That comes
There is already stress. अभी ये सारी चीजें कैसे
become like an
करें?
innate part.
Count the calories, you end up eating more chapati.
Okay.
Visceral fat and subcutaneous fat.
And you know, this is a very old saying we all were taught, khana chaba ke khana. That's
Correct.
something which our parents used to tell us, or maybe our grandparents. That's something what we miss. Pills for
See,
everything.
since they are asking about immunity, most of the time, like, when it comes to immunity, doctor always advise to go for vitamin C, or, tablets, or,
Antioxidants, that is what I was talking
vitamin C
about.
rich
Calcium.
fruits like oranges or lemons, like, so how is it related?
They are
vitamin
related
C
because
and
they are
immunity.
antioxidant. Yeah, they helps in boosting immunity. Apart from vitamin C, there are other vitamins also which helps in increasing your immunity. So definitely vitamin C is anti-inflammatory and antioxidant. So immediately doctor comes up with vitamin C because it's water soluble, और वो tablet के बाद में it does not deposit inside your body. All the nutrients are required for immunity. But vitamin C is instant because if it is not been absorbed, it excretes out of your body. It does not store inside your body.
So it's like a sunscreen that fights this thing.
just
And it's
like-
actually that way. If you take a look at the biochemical cycle, vitamin C, the antioxidants, it's actually like a sunscreen and protecting your body from any damage.
Yes.
So that's why the first thing, the simplest one that they prescribe is vitamin C, because there are other antioxidants, like you can give other vitamin E, vitamin A, vitamin D, which also act as antioxidants, but they are fat soluble. That means they can also result in toxicity when consumed in excess. But vitamin C, on the other hand, is water soluble. So even if you're consuming or having like one tablet every day, it's going to be excreted to your
Remember
urine.
in COVID, everybody used to take vitamin C supplements. And immunity बढ़ाना है और vitamin C. So
20 rupees tablet became 70
Limsi,
rupees.
and I forgot the name. It was very commonly given by doctors. And paracetamol. So that was the reason.
It was
And you have those mouth chewable tablets.
Mouth
also.
chewable tablets, yes, for vitamin C.
So you got it right, water soluble and fat soluble. दो कॉन्सेप्ट आपको समझ में आ गए. ठीक है, तो अभी हम लोग आते हैं मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट वन ऑफ द फैशनेबल टॉपिक है, वो है डिटॉक्स का. सो हाउ डिटॉक्स वर्क्स, डिटॉक्स सबके लिए है या नहीं वो, और डिटॉक्स का वेट लॉस में क्या रोल है, क्योंकि डिटॉक्स करते हैं ना, लाइक फॉर 5 days or 6 days you do डिटॉक्स, देयर इज अ ड्रास्टिक वेट लॉस, ओके, बट आफ्टर दैट व्हेन यू कम टू नॉर्मल डाइट, देन अगेन यू आर गोइंग टू पुट ऑन द वेट लाइक the normal weight. So how detox is helpful and for whom?
So firstly, I would say the concept of detox is only overhyped and overrated, because your own organs, that is your liver, your kidney, they do the detox. So you don't need to actually opt for a detox diet. And detox diet, they are not sustainable. They are nutrient deficit. And what is the instant loss you see where you're eliminating certain food or food groups? You will see it's a water loss. It's not a fat loss. So definitely they are short-lived. They are not sustainable. And rather, I would say, rather than opting for this quick fixes, let your body do the natural detox. In case you have had a cheat meal, or you have had a day where the entire day the routine has gone haywire, come back to your regular schedule, follow your balanced meal pattern, follow your regular physical activity. You don't need to resort to quick measures or fixes, because that is going to bounce back again.
And why it bounces back? That was the second thing with Abhilasha also asked was. So it's very simple, like when you are following something which is like a starvation mode, okay? We all know that when there is no water in a house, we start storing. right? That's the same thing that your body does. If there is no nutrition that's coming in, that means they feel that, oh, survival mode. Okay, I need to start storing. So after that, whatever you consume just gets stored in the body in adipose tissues, and because of which you end up putting on a lot of weight as well. So it kind of then rebounds your weight. And you might not be the same weight, but probably double the weight from where you started.
Yeah, it absorbs the water
it
and then it
absorbs
becomes stuff.
Adipose tissue means fat, she's mentioning here.
So I'm not saying that completely avoid, because we do suggest certain things, like for example in Ayurveda we
Yes,
were
we get-
discussing
yes.
about
Yeah, certain
those
herbal teas,
waters and all of that.
They help for
Which
digestion
you start.
and bloating.
Yeah, which you start with initially, which actually helps resolve or soothe and calm your
Yes.
gut.
Yeah.
It helps to relax your gut. Basically, when you do such kind of detox for 3 days or 2 days, your gut is relaxed. You're not eating much, so your gut gets time for autophagy, damaged cells gets repaired. So that is good on some point, but that is not considered for weight loss.
It's
For weight,
misused.
हाँ, it
It's
is
been
misused for
abused,
weight loss कि भाई
unfortunately.
डिटॉक्स किया तो वजन कम हो गया. तो अगर वेट लॉस के कंसेप्ट से करेंगे तो इट इज नॉट करेक्ट, बट इन अ वेट लॉस जर्नी डिटॉक्स आर बीन यूज्ड फॉर 1-2 days and between, or maybe for 5 days, maybe for 7 days, to clean up your gut, and with saying that you are going to put on that weight, with the saying that here now the concept is कि जो पहले से कचरा जमा है बॉडी में, it needs to get removed with some or the other terms. उसके लिए डिटॉक्स किया जाता है 2 दिन 3 के, जिससे कि मेटाबॉलिज्म पुट ऑन होता है. वन ऑफ द मेजर बेनिफिट फॉर डिटॉक्स इज इट बूस्ट अप योर मेटाबॉलिज्म, सो वेट लॉस जर्नी थोड़ा स्मूथ हो जाता है. So it has been given with the saying that you are going to bounce back this weight, but still we are making the gut healthy.
In a way, it's good for your digestive health. It boosts your gut health. It
It gives
cleanses
a
your
aram
system.
to how we are tired for 6 days and we need rest on a Sunday.
Similarly.
The same way gut also
The
needs
stomach
a
needs
rest.
rest.
So that way detox is beneficial, but to consider it as a weight loss goal, it has not been the right thing. कि भाई detox करते रहे.
Detox is it like fasting for a few days?
It's like it's
It has many variations. Detox has n number of variations. When you see Ayurveda, when you see naturopath, they work detox in different ways. There are 5:2 ratio diet method, where 5 days the person is eating and 2 non-consecutive days they do detox. That is, they do on a lighter meals. They cut off their calories, such that there are intermittent fastings, which is very commonly being used, which is commonly being sent in the reels also. So second is intermittent fasting, juice diets are there, water diets are there. Now
Fruit
recently,
diets are there
fruit,
generally.
and now
water
is
diets.
air fasting, which is very common. Where you don't have to eat anything and you don't have to drink anything. Naturopath do use this techniques also, where you don't eat also, you don't drink also. Yeah,
You
and
just
then
live on
they
air.
say, yeah,
Yeah. And there is even OMAD diet. That's 1 meal a day.
yeah.
That is
हाँ, 1
something
meal a day,
also
that is
very
also.
commonly
What do you
used.
mean in this air fasting?
Air
You eat
fasting
air.
is no, just eat the air. That's it. Don't eat and don't drink. But after, no, but there is a logic behind it. They say autophagy. That is that cell repair. If, as your question was regarding inflammation, that I have inflammation in my body. When you do air fasting or water fasting, you are giving rest to your body. So the damaged cells are getting repaired. Now you're not eating, so there's no work to the body. तो बॉडी का काम क्या है? पेंडिंग वर्क को सॉल्व करो. तो ऑलरेडी बॉडी में इन्फ्लेमेशन है, तो बॉडी नाउ इज, यू नीड टू गिव रेस्ट. यू कांट डू एनी काइंड ऑफ एक्टिविटी ड्यूरिंग सच फास्ट, बट नाउ द बॉडी इज वर्किंग ऑन रिपेयरिंग योर सेल्स. जो इन्फ्लेमेशन हो रहा है उसको काम करने के लिए आपको 2 दिन 1 दिन रेस्ट करना है, और वो टाइम पे आप ये फास्ट कर सकते हो.
I want to ask this for my mom actually. The inflammation and she was diagnosed recently with thyroid.
अच्छा.
She was suddenly getting angry and all those things. So Thyronorm is what has been prescribed to her with the 75 mg. But what should we avoid for thyroid as well as inflammation? That's the question.
For thyroid, in diet, when you see, you need to avoid certain cruciferous vegetables, which is a very common guideline we ideally give, the ones which have goitrogens, which do have an impact with thyroid gland. So certain vegetables like cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, soybean needs to be avoided to some extent. But apart from that, since it's a thyroid, you need to cover it up with all 4 factors, as I explained: diet, exercise, sleep, and stress. Thyroid is interlinked with stress and overthinking. So you need to understand whether the person is having stress or whether the person is overthinker to some incident. So that needs to be controlled with meditation. Activity, thyroid has an impact of metabolism. It deprives your metabolic rate. So you need to add up some amount of activity, maybe a simple minutes of walk as per her comfort zone. Along with that, since thyroid is going to affect your metabolism, so the person gains weight very fast. because the metabolism is slow. So the person increases in weight faster और बोलते हैं कि thyroid है ना उसलिए मेरा वजन बढ़ रहा है. So the concept here is, yes, thyroid deprives your metabolism, but you need to add on some activity so that your metabolism again comes up.
Make them walk is also a big.
You can do some simple home-based chair exercises also, but some kind of activity needs to be added.
So it
Ankita, you
actually
got-
lowers their BMR, because of which when the BMR is low, automatically the will to do something or that is not there. So when you make it their routines more consistent, okay, कि चलो आज अभी ये करना है वो करना, that consistency automatically builds in habits, which automatically helps, and slowly gradually that BMR also rises, which further helps in normalizing the hormonal levels as well.
And even there are a lot of micronutrient deficiencies which play an important role.
Yes.
So definitely taking care of all your nutrients, all your fruits, vegetables, where your vitamins and minerals are there, that's something. And even for the goitrogens, if the levels are not too high, there's a technique called as leaching. That's something which can be practiced where you double boil and discard the water. Yes, a certain amount of nutrients are lost, but that's one of the very simple way to reduce a certain percentage of the goitrogen. So you double boil it and you discard the water. That's something which you can use.
Stress and anxiety in certain situations, like for example, work pressure or study pressure and all of that. There are two things. Either you do stress eating, like you eat excessively, or you don't eat enough. So how to control that, and what type of food can relieve stress and anxiety?
She is a student, so you answer accordingly.
You are aware about box breathing? That you can
Yes.
search it up. That is a very nice technique to control your stress wherever you are out, anywhere. You can do it. That does not need any proper asana and practice of using yoga mat and anything. You can sit at this position and also do that box breathing. You can search it up. That is a good technique to
You're
box
actually making a
breathing.
box.
Box breathing. Inhale, exhale ka we need to make a box. That video explains very nicely.
It's an
You
imaginary
can
box you're
practice
making.
what you are practicing. You have also learned this Anulom Vilom and Brahmari. Na, they are the best because they are like balancing one. Don't practice Kapalbhati and Bhasrika. These two, if you practice, then it will help you. But as far as food is concerned, she wants to understand like any particular food that will help her to relieve the stress.
So first thing is you maintain a routine, which is important, and we keep snacks handy. You need to know what kind of snacks are healthier for you. It's very common for you to go on to eat sugary snacks, and also why? Because unhealthy snacks are always available at home. Okay, whether it is chuda, whether it is chocolate, it's always on the freezer. Okay, so that is the first thing कि कुछ खाना है तो we always go there. So what I have done, these are the strategies that I use at my home. The chocolates are always in the lowermost shelf where you cannot reach. The snacks, though it's there, it's always behind the cylinder, so I don't reach there. So there was 1 month where I never finished any of these snacks, which was really helpful. But then that does not remove the fact that you will feel like eating. Most of the stress related things to eat, the urge to eat, is because of low hydration. So whenever you first feel the urge, you make sure that you're having water, you pace around, which really helps you. Second thing is, if you're ensuring that your meals are on tap and you have equally spaced meals, you're eating enough. Now what do you snack on? Okay, so keep lighter snacks. There are makhanas, there are nuts, okay, like almonds. Almonds are difficult to choose, so you don't end up eating more compared to cashews, compared to walnuts. Okay, walnuts are also sometimes, if it is bitter, you don't end up eating more. So these are healthier snacks that you can keep around. You can have specifically when we study a little late or in the evening hours. These are the peak times that we feel hungry. Another thing is fiber is really important. Increase your fiber in all your major meals, because when your fiber is higher, automatically your satiety is high. When your satiety is high, you feel full for a longer duration, so you don't end up eating multiple other things. The best thing what I do is I stack these chopped cucumbers and carrots in my fridge at all the times. It's very crunchy. Whenever you feel hungry, you eat up. You're eating empty calories. Okay, these are called empty calorie foods. Okay, they don't add a lot of calories. They give you fiber. They make you feel full, and you also end up eating something because you just want to eat. So you can keep these things always handy. That'll really help.
Even for your sweet cravings also.
Yeah.
Very hard.
Yeah, that's your protein.
Even for your sweet cravings.
For long time.
Why do we crave so much for sweets? I am not like I love sweets because I can't control myself.
See, even sleep cycle and stress, as she mentioned, they both are also related with sweet cravings. If the sleep is disturbed or sleeping, see, Ayurveda also have a right time to sleep. If you sleep late, maybe after 10:30, many times dinner are late, so the sleep gets delayed. So these all things give you a craving to sweet. And in case if you have craving to sweet, you can opt for something which is handy protein laddus, chote chote, like how we give to our kiddos dairy milk shots, that was small. You can make laddus out of that, making sattu powder, adding some nuts to it, maybe some cocoa powder just to give you a chocolate flavor. And you can keep that dabba handy. If you get sugar cravings, you can have such kind of shots with you.
The best thing which I really like is now it's grape season. Okay, so you freeze the grapes and then while you're having, you just add a little of red chili powder. It's very tasty.
Yeah.
Okay, you can try that out. I wouldn't say healthy, but it won't
It
have
is a
sugars.
better choice. It is not healthy.
It's a
but
better
see,
choice,
It's
yes.
when we have to select something good from the all worst categories, then dark chocolate can be
What
a better
happens,
choice.
we take the benefit of doubt. So anything which is healthy, we do not understand and read the label that what hidden sugars are there behind. So we take the benefit of doubt, right? So you need to understand that how much is too much. Plus avoid heavy meals at least towards your bedtime. That's one thing which you need to take care, right? When your meals even have
Acha, you
Yes.
do chovya and all.
so even when your meals are good, have good amount of, as Natalia said, protein is there, fiber is there, you're hydrating yourself well. You have to understand the cues, whether they are hunger cues or they are lack of adequate hydration, right? Because at times you're not hydrated well. You're so involved and absorbed in your work. So that's the time you tend to eat more than what is required, and something which gives you that instant burst of energy. It's going to give you that energy and it's going to then put your sugar levels down, and then you're again going to crave for more. And that's where food items you choose which are laden with calories. So yes, how you do the arrangement of your fridge, as she mentioned, I think that's perfect. That that's
Lower
where your
shelf.
fruits and vegetables you put it at the bottom, your dals and pulses, and the ones which are least required you place it at the bottom or at the behind. So that's easy way to stack your fridge.
Just extension of Ankita's question. So there is always dilemma, people say compared to white sugar, brown sugar is best and jaggery is better. So do you feel so? Can we use then brown sugar and jaggery in the sweets?
It is the same way how we say that we need to select something better from the wrong categories. So white sugar is having chemicals, bleaching is done on it, so the procedure is not correct. Compared to that, brown sugar can be maybe 1 or 2% better, but when you are considering a weight loss goal, then sugar needs to be zero in that case. But if the person is not on a weight loss, a very healthy weight, then maybe a organic jaggery, which is also chemical free, and maybe a organic sugar, which is also chemical free, can be taken to some extent, maybe 1 or 2 teaspoons. Maybe you use it in your tea, coffee, can be taken that way.
But that would not necessitate you take it liberally.
That
right?
is not the
because
choice.
they all give you calories. There are maybe
They are
some additional
carbs.
nutrients what they have instead of sugar. But that does not mean that
You
you're
can use
very liberal about
natural
it.
sweeteners like dates, figs in your
Black
recipes,
raisins are there.
black raisins. They give you some nutrition out of it. Sugars and this brown sugars, they don't give you nutrition as such. Jaggery also, maybe having organic good jaggery, have some amount of iron and some minerals. But apart from that, you can select certain natural options like dates and figs, raisins.
You can always make these trail mixes, nuts, and keep it on your desk. So, that they are handy snacks and you can easily, or maybe just plain crackers at home. Your normal chapati, you can make it like a cracker and you can take it with maybe a hummus or maybe just plain yogurt. Season it with a little digestive aids like your jeera powder or chia seeds, You can add that. So they will give you the feeling of fullness and satiety because they will be packed with protein fiber.
So, is it normal to crave for sweet tea? Is it normal? No?
It depends age-wise also, see. Age-wise
It's not
also.
like any deficiency you have, that's why you're craving for sugar. Is it normal?
See, I'll tell you what, specifically when you constantly crave sugar when you're stressed, it's a normal body mechanism. Why? Because stress is something that happens in fight or flight situations. Okay, that means, say for example, in ancient days, when man was a hunter, Okay, and there is an animal lion in front of me. What do? I'm extremely stressed. I don't know what to do now. What do I need at that point in time? The instant source of energy is glucose. Okay, because of which it's very natural for you to feel that, okay, I'm extremely stressed right now. You're in that situation which you are not, but your body feels you're in that situation, so it's craving for glucose. That's why it's natural to feel the need to have that. Now, one thing with motivational interviewing, with behavior modifications, we know that there is no line in front of me. Okay, I don't need the sugar. So what do? I need to delay the gratification or the need to have the sugar. Have water, move. They don't. It's a response. That stress is a response which is created by your system. Okay, it can be because of anything. It can be because you've just had a fight with somebody. Okay, it's a normal, but your body is creating the same response as if there is a lion in front of you. That's the effect of stress. So you don't need it. Okay, that's why we say that engage in stress management, do the box breathing, so that you don't have that much of an effect that you are craving. That means that's an immediate response to everything that's happening to you. Imagine it's that much, but you know now that there is no line. Okay, so you have to tell yourself there's no line. I don't need it. Okay, I need to drink water. I need to move around.
And
Simple
you
as
need to
that.
engage in therapeutic activities which give you that relaxation, something what you enjoy, and reducing the screen time. Definitely.
And
Because at least that
mindful eating.
diverts your attention.
But I think with sweets, emotions are also attached, right?
So sweets
Whatever
can be
food
made in a
choices you
different way. Na? You can use the natural sugars and make the sweet.
Yeah, but like I know many people have this sugar craving. Not sugar, I'll say sweet cravings. Of course, it ultimately will come to sugar only, but they feel like if they don't have that much now, they will feel that the whole day they will feel irritated.
Here comes the Ayurvedic part also.
What I feel is here, I don't know, I may be wrong, but I really feel here that at certain points in time it's related of how we've been treated throughout our life. Okay, when we know that, okay, I'm stressed, I need to have sugar. So even if it's not the response, but you just know that, arey, I'm stressed, I need to have sugar. Okay, so it's just that gratification that you get from having the sugar. So it becomes a habit over a period of time. So every time then you know, arey, abhi to periods aa gaya hai, I need to have sugar. So you don't know, but you just feel that, okay, I need that gratification, I need to give something. But what if now you try to delay that or you change it? That, okay, I'm stressed, I need to have water. Why don't you tell that to yourself and see how that's helping you in a few years from now? Okay, it's simple like if you get scolded and you want a child to keep quiet, what will you tell your child? Have chocolate. Okay, so maybe it starts from there, I don't know. Okay, so maybe it's there in your head that if I have a sugar or if I have a sweet, everything is going to be okay. So that's your way of telling. But what if you change it? What if you change that language? What if you change or rewire your brain there? It will really help you maybe.
So you have to understand your body cues. Very simple.
So suppose we are job, right? We are continuously sitting job, okay? Sedimentary lifestyle. We don't have time to go for exercising. Like especially mine, I work on computer, so it's just sitting. I live a sitting life. So what is kind of what you advise as far as food is concerned? Because I don't get time for exercise. Yeah. Yes. So what is the advice for me? To
First
keep
thing,
my
your
interest?
one wheel is broken.
What is
Exactly.
Your one wheel is broken. So we need to add it. I don't think we don't have time. It's just that we don't find it difficult to make time for multiple things. There can be many things. किसी ने कभी सिखाया नहीं जिम में कैसे इक्विपमेंट्स यूज़ करना है तो मुझे जाना नहीं है. One. So what can we do? Engage in activities that you can do at home. Okay? Learn from an expert of how you can do these activities at home. So even if you use that 20 minutes, like for me, that 20 minutes is very important in the morning. Otherwise, I'm going to be having my hair all apart every day. So it's very important that you do that, even if it's little activity. Second is move around. Whenever you can, move around. You're utilizing glucose of your body, which is automatically reducing the free-flowing glucose which gets converted to fat. Okay, so move around as much as you can. Okay, how do you do that? Track your steps. See if you're being active. So even if you're doing like a basic 5,000 steps which WHO recommends, that means you're being active. That's an effort that you're taking. So try and increase that. Okay, try and see if you can include a routine that you can do at home. It need not have to be like an hour of activity, 1 hour traveling to the gym, 1 hour coming back. I don't have 3 hours of time. right? But I do have 15 or 20 minutes in the morning. Then I
Yeah,
can
I think
engage.
just 15-20 minutes of
It's
exercise.
better that you start at 15:20, okay? Because when you start at 15:20, I'll guarantee you'll make it 1 hour. But you start at 15:20.
And a very simple thing, I remember one of a cardiologists telling me that the very simple thing, after every meal, just 10 to 15 minutes, you take your walk. At least start with that. So you may be talking, you may be doing something, but just do that 15 minutes and you will actually see a difference. And like she said, then that becomes, you need to change your habit, right? You need to work on habits. How you've made your work a priority, you need to make your health a priority. So you need to spend that time. You need to, that entire 23 hours, 1 hour, you have to put that for yourself. But at least start with 15-20 minutes. There are 7-minute workout routines, 10-minute workout routines. Start with small, small steps. Make those small short term goals. Then you can go for a longer term because then there will be a consistency which is maintained.
Okay, I'll come to this point. Like she was asking about sugar. So one more thing is there, like cold drinks. Okay, so cold drinks are very much in fashion nowadays as well. Like when there is kiddos parties are there, they also consume cold drinks, and also in fashion, alcohol is also in fashion. Like weekends people have alcohol, then smoking as well. In corporates also, like smokers have different groups. So it's a kind of a thing. So how these things affects health, you all know it. Mostly people also know it, those who are consuming it and those who are used to of it. So how it affects our weight loss as well or weight gain. And the second important thing, why we shouldn't have cold drinks specifically. So 3-4 questions you can answer.
So I'll just take this because I just had a party yesterday. I'm sure everyone of you did have a party. And specifically when it comes to, I'll answer it one by one. Specifically when it comes to alcohol, specifically those who drink alcohol, you don't stop at one peg. Okay, it's always 2, 3, whatever. Now, the thing is, one is alcohol, second is, उसमें कुछ तो diluter तो डालना पड़ेगा ना. So that diluter is adding more calories. Okay, then third, इसके साथ snacks तो चाहिए ही ना, ऐसे ही थोड़ी ना पी सकते हैं alcohol. तो snacks फिर और आ जाता है. तो now that snacks अभी, whether it's fried, चना is raw, salad तो कोई खाता नहीं है. ठीक है, salad क्या खा रहे हैं? You don't have it. So then you're adding so much of calories. So imagine alcohol, your diluters, your snacks that you're having is equivalent to your 1.5 meal or probably 2 meals of the day, which you're having only in that one sitting. So that's the effect. So you're eating excess of calories that day, which you don't need. Okay, so that handles the alcohol thing. Then second thing is with regards to cold drinks. It is we all know that it's damaging. How is it damaging? Your cold drink will have almost 20 to 40 grams of sugar only in that one cup. Okay, which you would not even have in an entire day. So you're not having 1 chammach chini in your chai, but you're okay to have that cold drink. So that's the decision that we have to take. Okay, here we are debating about sugar लेना है कि jaggery लेना है जिसमें same calories है, but cold drink तो पी सकते हैं हम एक glass. Okay, so that's correct. Now Diet Coke is one thing. It doesn't have calories. I've checked it myself. It doesn't have sugars. I've checked it myself. But it also has a lot of additives to it. Now, additives is another story altogether because then there is sodium, there is multiple other factors which are damaging to our body because it's processed. And any food that is on the shelf cannot not have additives. Without that, they will not be able to make any profits because otherwise the food is going to be getting spoiled very fast, which doesn't happen. It stays there, right? 8 months, 1 year, 2 years. The longer the shelf life, the more the additives in it. Okay, so yes, it has its pros and cons. You have to choose. You have to make a choice there. Okay, how is it that you would want to change that? Okay, simplest way, replace your cold drinks for your kids' party with Nimbu Pani. Okay, you can always do that. Have fruits. Okay, keep salads. Okay, my son loves cucumber. He will not eat carrot, beetroot, anything, but he loves cucumber. But it's a healthy thing. Okay, and I'm okay with him eating. So always try, replace one thing. Like today we learned about 20 things. If you try to include 20 things in your lifestyle from tomorrow, it's not going to happen. Okay, pick one thing at a time, start working on it. If it is you feel activity, use that. If you feel it's sugar, use that. If you feel it is snack, use that. If you feel it is just probably sleep, okay, do that. Start with one thing and that's how you'll be able to bring about the change. Last thing was smoking, which I missed about. So in smoking, what happens is two things. There is inflammation. Okay, anything that is not as a part of your body, it produces antibodies. So when you are inhaling the smoke, it is creating antibodies with your lungs, which is damaging your lungs. Okay, so that's an effect that it will have. Second thing, it also has a lot of inflammatory compounds that it generates within your body, which gives rise to a lot of stress also. Okay, there is inflammation in your body which has an effect. Then again, furthermore need of having additional nutrients. एक तो पहले ही balanced diet नहीं खा रहे हैं, ठीक है? तो वो सारी चीज़ें. So yes, it is harmful, but it does have nutritional implications as well on our side.
It has a lot of nicotine as well. So whatever food you consume, you may be having a very balanced diet, but the nutrient absorption is hindered. It does not get appropriately absorbed. And in a nutshell, if you see from even alcohols, yes, the question comes that, we can have red wine or white wine, but there are many other food groups, right, or food options which are packed with antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. So we just need to be mindful of what portion we are having. You can relax and enjoy your heart out, but that would not be the entire day. Maybe that one meal. And you have to be very mindful in your eating. Just do it.
Mindfulness will come with yoga.
Yes.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
have rheumatoid
Yeah.
arthritis, so my rheumatologist only recommend me to have red wine. That is good for joints. I mean, is it true?
Usually I know that they recommend having, you're a Jain, I'm sorry, but they recommend paya soup. They
Yes.
recommend
Papaya soup they
vitamin C. Vitamin C in itself helps maintain your cartilage health. So there are theses and researches on that.
Fire.
Collagen, it has collagen.
It's a
Non-veg.
Okay, and vitamin C. So vitamin C is something that is recommended, which usually they must have included in your protocol while they are giving it to you only. Red wine, I don't think
I don't think so,
I've
yes.
not come across any
Yes.
research.
And there are very alternatives to red wine. So just to stick for anti-inflammatory food, then having red wine is not necessary. We have other alternatives to anti-inflammatory.
Because I think it's anti-inflammatory, that's why it is.
So that's what we have a lot of fruits and vegetables.
have other
and nuts and
foods,
seeds which have your omega fatty acids, which are again very good. We need foods which are very good for your joint lubrication, right?
I think turmeric will be better
So,
than
your normal
Turmeric and
herbs and
ginger both
spices,
plays a very
your
good role for
condiments,
rheumatoid
yeah.
arthritis.
So these are the ones which you include day to day in your daily diet routine.
What are the good
So
foods
rather
for
than
that?
just opting for
For
that.
rheumatoid, na?
Yeah, for joint
And
pain.
yes, avoid
Especially
strict
for seniors.
For senior ladies, for rheumatoid, basically turmeric and ginger plays a very good role. Either a ginger tea or a turmeric tea, even application of turmeric paste to, in case many people who are on rheumatoid arthritis and they have good bone pain, maybe at some particular joints or something, application of turmeric and ginger paste to that area gives them a relief,
Okay.
specifically for rheumatoids.
So if we combine like turmeric with milk, is it the effect,
Low fat milk is
differs
fine.
or it's the same?
You can even have it with lukewarm water as well.
Water is
Yeah, lukewarm water also is something you can
And
have.
milk is also fine.
Yeah, both are equally fine.
Actually, most of the time people confuse with anti-inflammatory food for anti-inflammatory conditions with anti-inflammatory diet. Then there is a lot of things. So that's why anything that is anti-inflammatory gets attached to
Spread
it.
all over.
But it may not be. At least I don't think I've come across any researchers
The red
with
wine, no.
specifically with red wine
Yeah.
and knee pain. But yeah, whatever they mention with regards to curcumin and vitamin C, these things really help in reducing the pain and all of that.
Okay, since we are
Even at times, I think sour foods, avoiding sour foods or citric foods, it does help some people.
less on time, so we'll conclude with the two topics, important topics are left. One is cooking methods and the second one is about the beauty. So first we'll understand about what is the good diet for beauty, specifically good hair, strong and healthy hair, and of course shining and supple skin. So what would you recommend as a
See,
dietitian?
hair is basically, our hair is a protein. So, which is the protein in the hair is keratin. So, definitely a good protein diet will have a good strength for hair. Along with that, the other ingredients, other nutritions like omega 3, which has a good impact on skin as well as on the hair. Then we go with vitamin A, vitamin C. Vitamin A has a good impact on hair growth and hair strength both. And vitamin C helps in collagen, which is good for your skin. Collagen helps in elasticity of your skin. So vitamin C is good for collagen synthesis. So that can be taken in the diet. In all the sources, like we have lemons and all vitamin C sources can be taken. Apart from that, zinc, iron, they all play a very good role overall. But these are the key nutrients for good hair and good skin. But internally, when you take nutrients, but what about the regular cleansing of your skin, regular cleansing of your hair, using avoiding chemicals in the routine? See, when we see Ayurveda, we earlier, our parents or grandparents never used to use shampoos. Shampoos were never at that time. There were Aritha, and they are natural cleansers right now also. If we use Aritha, it's a natural cleanser. Then we have, for skin, we have neem, we have turmeric, we have sandalwood. They are home remedies. Aloe vera is a natural moisturizer for your scalp, for your skin. So that can be used. They are chemical free. They are easily available in the market. So not just intake wise, you take nuts, dry fruits, everything which are very good for your skin, very good for your hair. But outside cleaning is also at the same time important. Taking care for your skin and hair regularly, oiling your hair, moisturizing your skin. These all things play a very good role apart from having a diet also.
Is it very necessary? I should also for it.
It is.
That's a good question. And then,
Genuine question.
No. That is perfectly fine. But when a person, see, right now, if a person has a goal of they have a acne or they have some skin related issues, then we do say that they always come up saying that we don't want chemical based items. They don't want to use any chemicals for the skin. So there is a natural alternative which needs more consistent efforts. These are home remedies which does not get easily gives us result. It needs a long term consistency. Even here the Ayurveda doshas plays a role. When a person is having good pitta, it needs to be modified with the lifestyle also. Not taking oily foods, not taking spicy foods. If the pitta is on the higher side, the hair fall is there. Skin will have acne. Hair will start getting gray earlier. So these all are attached with internally with our body type also. So we need to work all round to get the result. But yes, as you said, this is more easy and convenient and less time consuming.
Plus, I would like to add there are some nutrients apart from your protein and fiber. Biotin is something which is
Yes.
equally very important
Yes.
for your hair. So, your foods like your nuts, seeds, beans, legumes, dark green leafy vegetables, all of these are equally important to be had in your diet.
I'll just add to one this thing. While they've given suggestions of what you can include, you have to remember that maintaining your hair and maintaining your skin, there are two things. One is the structure. Okay. Now, like she mentioned, like Mudra said, for hair it's the keratin. For skin, it is the collagen. Both are proteins. Then second thing is nourishing these proteins. Okay, so you need, your blood needs to be well oxygenized. It has to be having good iron. It has to have good zinc. So that's why the need for incorporating these nutrients into the diet. One, because to maintain the structure of your hair, to maintain the structure of your skin. Second, to keep it constantly nourished. And all of this cannot happen without good hydration, which is the base. If you're not hydrating well, then your skin will be supple, it will not be glowing, it will not be good. So yes, while we need iron, while we need zinc, while we need biotin, while we need all of this, we need to also make sure that we are hydrating well, so that both of it is maintained.
And complemented with good sleep.
And
Very
stress
essential.
control, yes.
Since we are come to hydration, there is always confusion, right? With hydration as well, like kitna pani peena hai, 2 liters, 3 liters, 4 liters. So how is that?
There is a formula which recently I suppose I've heard about. WHO gave in a formula. They say around 30 to 35 ml per kg body weight. So just calculate it, maybe if you are 60, then calculate either 30 to 35, that much at least you should have the water. Definitely seasonal changes are there. Summer needs more water because there is lots of water loss. So additional water needs to be there. But basic requirement जैसे बोलते हैं कि कितना पीना चाहिए, तो this can be calculated and taken for yourself.
With at least a little minimum of
2 liters. It ideally average comes to 2 to 2.5. When we calculate for a normal healthy person, it comes to 2 to 2.5 liters.
If you do have cardiac or renal issues, you need to
They have
consult
to be monitored.
because they
has to
will
be
be on
monitored.
restrictions.
Okay, now we come to the last part. Since like we have talked about lot about food, so we want to understand, like, you know, what kind of cooking methods are the best, or what kind of cooking vessels. Like there is always, like, you know, nowadays we use those non-sticky pans as well. So there is always red flag over that as well. We shouldn't use those non-sticky pans. You know, they are not good. Like they may be cancerous as well. Like it may cause cancer as well.
Teflon based. and
Yeah.
all.
So what would you suggest?
Yeah, non-stick nowadays they have modified more. Now people do mention there that they can be taken on high temperature. We get non-stick pans such a way. So you need to be very clear while you take the non-stick pans that it has been highlighted very well that it can resist high temperature. But otherwise, yes, non-stick can't be taken when you cook anything on non-stick. It can't be on a higher temperature. They give out maybe carcinogenic compounds which are harmful for the body. So definitely researches are controversial. Some say this, some say it is not, it not be taken, or some say it needs to be taken. But somewhere you need to be very mindful while selecting the non-stick. They've clearly mentioned nowadays that it is resistant. You can take it at a high temperature. Then only you can take such non-sticks, and that too not on a higher temperature. It needs to be
It's
into
a
a
lot of
moderate
chemical
temperature.
release basically.
Yeah.
And things like your iron utensils, definitely there is a good release of iron casts, something, or copper related. And cooking techniques, basic dry heat methods where you have grilling, baking. But again, if you're doing grilling and baking, we need to realize that even when you're going out and opting for anything which is grilled or baked, there are a lot of sauces that again has a lot of salt and sugar to it. So that is equally important. That doesn't mean you're having a healthy option, right? So you can opt for these dry heat methods of cooking, but yes, we need to take care of the additives, the additional flavor enhancers, which ones you're having, whether they're packed with a lot of salt and sugar, or maybe you can use enhancers like your lime or coriander, which equally are good digestives and they also flavor your meal.
And we make one common mistake: boiling and steaming. Steaming is better compared to boiling because nutrient losses are less. When we boil, we many a times throw away that water. So water soluble nutrients are gone in that water. So wash it and then boil the product so that you can use that water, and use with very minimal of water. Nowadays air fryer is also very commonly used everywhere because they have a benefit definitely that the fat percentage is less, so they help in weight loss. But air fryer also have this coating, Teflon coating, so you need to be very mindful while purchasing air fryer that they clearly mention that they can resist high temperature. They mention on that. We get such kind of air fryers also. So while purchasing, you need to be mindful that whether they are resisting high temperature or not. And after that also, you need to be using it for low to moderate temperature. Researchers say around 175 to 200 degrees something, which is still fine, but anything above that can produce carcinogenic compounds. But these researches are still ongoing and there are controversial statements to it. So it is difficult to say a particular temperature to it. Even the quality makes a difference. Many a times you have not maintained your microwave well and the radiations are leaching out. So can be a reason of cancer or carcinogenic compounds. So maintaining, using it in the right way and discarding it at the right time. Maybe a non-stick, if you are using it, you can't use it for 5 to 10 years together. You need to use it for 1, 2, 3 years. You would realize that the flakes are coming out, or maybe the outer sides are not clear. So you need to change that. You can't use it for constantly because it's a coated one. Even for aluminium nowadays, they have an anodized aluminium, something is there.
Even containers,
Containers,
free
yes.
containers.
So they all are coated ones. They can't be taken on a higher temperature. And if you are using it, you need to discard it in some years, maybe 1 or 2 years. You need to take a newer ones. Otherwise, our stainless steel is much more better, where they are not leaching out any nutrients and they are not interacting with acidic foods. जब भी आप iron में बनाते हो, तो टमाटर you would realize that color is changing because it is reacting with acidic foods. But this does not happen with stainless steel. So they are comparatively better. Even ceramic is better, even glass is better, but they are delicate. Even mud, nowadays mud pots are very commonly used. They are good, but at the same time you need to take extra care because उसमें fungus हो जाता है. वो उसको sun dry होना बहुत जरूरी है. तो वो care अगर आप लेते हो तो it's a very good way to cook food in that. But उसका care लगेगा. Otherwise, stainless steel is something which is very affordable and used very easily.
I think they've covered on the points.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not adding
Anu
them.
and Varsha, you want to ask something? Because you didn't ask anything. That's why.
So there's just one thing. A lot of since we didn't cover it, there are these hypes of keto diet and all
Yeah,
of
yeah.
that. So a reason why people use non-stick is for keto diets, because I have prescribed keto diets for therapeutic reasons. So earlier keto diets was invented for people who have epilepsy. They get seizures. Okay, so in order to reduce the frequency of seizures, you have to give a certain amount of fat to them. And if you don't give that 50 or 100 grams of fat, they will get the seizures. So ये patients को you cannot give a lot of carbs. So you have to give only वो 5 ग्राम का भी 5 ग्राम का भी जाना चाहिए. तो वो 30 ग्राम डालने के लिए you have to make sure कि वो पूरा 30 ग्राम उनके पेट में जाना चाहिए. That's why we use the non-stick. The reason why we used it. But nowadays the keto is something that has been glamorized and everybody wants to use it for weight loss, and then there is a different way of 1:1, 3:1, 4:1.
Alternate day, restrictive.
Yeah, correct.
Different.
So for long term, this thing, nutritionists usually do not prescribe keto, because specifically if you have any issues with cholesterol, heart issues and all of that, it's a contraindicated diet. You cannot be starting keto diet on these issues that you already have. If you're taking medications for lowering cholesterol and all of that, because then that will further thicken your arteries. Okay, so it's not recommended. But since we were talking about the vessels, I wanted to let you know that those are the things that we use, and yes, needs to be replaced. And also these copper vessels and all we usually use because the copper, iron, leaches and all of that into that, because of which. So the choice of equipment is yours, depends on the goal at the end, what you want to achieve with regards to your diet.
I'll again compare, since she was talking about keto, and I don't want to miss one intermittent diet. We touched upon it in between our conversation, but this is also
Yes,
very
that
hot
is-
topic. Like there are so many people who are doing intermittent diet. So what's your suggestion? Who should do it and who should not do it?
See, whether it comes to keto or intermittent, I would say individuals need to take care. You need to understand your basic science of the body, because these diets tend to get restrictive and they're not sustainable for a long time. It's not that they are bad, but you need to understand what works and suits for your body well, right? Like keto diet is more concentrated on, it's a high fat, moderate protein, and a low carb diet. That's where it puts your body in a state of ketosis, where it utilizes fat as a source of energy rather than utilizing carbohydrate. Now, in intermittent, again, you can follow the routine, but what happens there, it needs to again be clubbed with good quality protein, good amount of protein, good physical activity, but you don't have to be restrictive. In the long term, what happens, you are not able to sustain them and retain them for a very long period of time. What you also need to understand is that, did your body reach to the current state of health in a matter of day or months? No, it didn't. It took a period of months and years for the body to get this damage, right? So to rectify it again, it will take some time to rewire your body to get back to your metabolic state, right? Up and running. You need to rework and take small steps. So any drastic approach is something which I would say is something which you should not be resorting to. Take small steps at a time and make those small changes.
Yeah, maybe intermittent done in a window pattern, like
Yeah.
10 to 12 hours.
With the right
का-
approach and
which you
guidance.
can do it throughout your life, I would say. Maybe from morning 9 or maybe 8, the breakfast time, till 6 in the evening. Then remaining hours would be a fasting hours. So maybe 10 or 12 hours is something that you would be eating, and 10 to 12 hours would be you are on a fasting stage.
It's like your regular eating
Yeah,
pattern.
that
how
is
you
known
do.
as time restricted eating. Basically, it's also a kind of fast, where lots of varieties of fasting are there. This is also a kind of fasting. So this can be sustained for a longer duration.
What happens if you are going for yoga or gym or swimming? So if you are going empty stomach, then it's again comes कि थोड़ा कुछ खा के जाना चाहिए. तो वो वाला पैटर्न मतलब, अब जैसे हमने रात में मान लिया 8:30 डिनर फिनिश कर लिया, 8:30 से पहले या 9 से पहले तो मेरे को योगा या कुछ करना है. तो अगेन ऐसा हो जाता है कि अब वो डाइट कहाँ फॉलो.
So first, it is contraindicated in people who have issues with sugars. One. So if you are on any medications for managing your sugars, we don't advise you to do any time restricted fasting. But अगर आप देख सकते हो कि in a usual day हम अननोइंगली इंटरमिटेंट फास्टिंग फॉलो करते हैं. ठीक है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल आप 6 बजे उठ के अगर इवनिंग 6 o'clock इज योर लास्ट मील, देन यू आर फॉलोइंग अ 12/12 इंटरमिटेंट एनी विच वेज. नाउ व्हाई वी आर रिड्यूसिंग दैट टाइम? सो दैट इट हैज़ एन इफेक्ट. सो स्पेस आउट योर टाइम ना, आपके योगा रूटीन के हिसाब से और आपकी मील के हिसाब से आपका इंटरमिटेंट फास्टिंग का जो ईटिंग विंडो है आप स्पेस आउट कर सकते हो. सो दैट इज़ नॉट एन इशू एट ऑल. सो इट्स नॉट कि इफ़ आई एम सेइंग कि 8 बजे फर्स्ट मील और उसके बाद 6 बजे वही टाइम आपको फॉलो करना. यू डिसाइड आउट, या you decide out the pattern and you can follow. The idea is to give that body rest, like what she was talking about autophagy. Give that body rest, okay, so that your body is able to heal in that time. And also, agar aap early dinners khate ho, तो there are a lot of benefits of early dinner any which ways. One of the reasons is your body is able to detoxify at the right time, your liver is able to work, all of the other systems come into place. Yes.
And like if we have early dinners like around 6, and if we feel hungry, so what all things we can have? Little
I'll explain you. See, if it's an early dinner, see, ideally, early dinner comes with right sleeping time also. If you take dinner by 6 or 7 and you are awake till 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock, you're going to get hyperacidity because you're at the end, your acid is going to increase. Even fastings are not allowed for the ones who have hyperacidity, who are tend to have pitta prakriti. They are not allowed to do fast because they can't sustain longer fast. So in that case, if you are eating early, your sleeping window also should be on time, maybe by 10 or 10:30, something where you sleep on time. And in case if you still feel hungry after you have, because this is not a routine for you right now, to get into a routine, you might feel hungry. Then it's the time you can add maybe a cup of low-fat milk in the night, maybe with a ginger or turmeric added to it. Something can be taken as maybe 1 hour before you go to sleep. Say if you plan to sleep by 10 o'clock, maybe 9:30 or something, you can have a cup of milk. Milk has an additional benefit that it gives you a sound sleep also. So that can be added in that case.
And why you gain weight because of the cravings is because what is happening, there is this gap, right? So this increased cravings ultimately disrupts your metabolism, correct? So the kind of choice you're making, something which is protein and fiber rich towards your dinner time, is something which will definitely give you more satiety and less of cravings. You were
it's
saying
not
something.
like always, like sometimes we have
Few
light
days.
dinners, then after like on weekends if we are watching
Correct.
TV or
Right.
something, then we feel like eating, you don't want to sleep early. So
Have healthy snacks ready with you. Maybe in that case, maybe if you are out, like maybe if you are seeing something, have healthy snacks like makhana, how she told. Or maybe if you want a sweet craving, you can have this dates and sattu ka laddu.
But once in a while, cheating is fine.
Once in a while,
Once
So
in
we
a
have to
while-
be very clear. If it is not following your routine, don't do it. Follow a healthy diet. There's nothing, then you're not doing intermittent fasting. Right? If it's not following in your diet, don't do it. Or what you can do is follow it for 8 weeks, see the results, go back to another routine, and maybe at a later point in time, come back to it again. You can always do a progression diet. That's okay.
And
And-
cheat meals are
yes.
occasional meals. Cheat meals need not to be a habit
the
to take it
frequency
every
depends
week
how
as a
often they
cheat
come.
meal. Okay, now cheat meal is allowed. Cheat meal can be
So
taken
cheat, yeah.
occasionally.
It's not the entire day. It's that one meal if you would
And
want
one
to keep
meal,
it.
yes.
So enjoy your heart out, relax, because obviously you want to unwind and enjoy socially. But the entire week, then you should need to come back to your routine because it's for your own health.
And cheat meal comes with the compensatory meals. Like if you are cheating right now, maybe say in the lunch you have gone out and you have cheated something, you have taken something which is not correct, then balance it up with your calorie intake in the dinner by taking a lighter meal. Add it up with some minutes of extra workouts, maybe to cover up the extra calories that you have taken. So cheat meals ideally is attached with a compensatory meal whenever it is comfortable for you to do it.
But also one more thing, depends on the definition of light meal.
Hmm.
When you say what is your light meal, whether it's your sev puri chaat, because we think they are small snacks, they are light, but they are actually packed with a lot of empty calories which give you no nutrition.
like these, I mean like khichdi and that.
Yeah, something like maybe you're having a wholesome soup with some khichdi and a lot of vegetables.
So
Yes,
jaldi digest ho jata hai.
yes, that works.
Okay.
Abhilasha, even that vegetable oil, which oil we should
Yeah.
So refined oil, definitely, that's something which you need to opt out of Preferably, your cold pressed oils are something which are really good. Then we have your flaxseed oil, soya bean oil, groundnut oil. These are good. One important thing apart from that is that even ghee is something which can be used, right? You can always replace your 1 teaspoon of ghee. So the recommendation generally is around 3 to 4 teaspoons per day per person, because 1 teaspoon somewhere approximately is about 5 grams. So you can always replace 1 teaspoon of oil with 1 teaspoon of ghee. Extra tadka chonk, that's something which you can always take care and avoid. And yes, these are the kind of oils which, even natural oils are present in a lot of nuts and seeds. That's your almonds, walnuts, avocados. These also you can incorporate. And so yes, olive oil is something, but excessive cooking, because what happens, the more heat treatment they receive, the nutritive part gets lost. And avoid reusing oil. So take how much what is required instead of reusing it again and again, because then it leaves an poisonous gas, acrolein. So that's something which you need to
How
avoid.
about mustard oil?
Mustard oil is something which you can take. Like I said, anything excess or less is which you need to avoid. But cold press oils are something which are really good. Flaxseed oil is there. Coconut oil is something which you can use. It has good amount of benefits. Then you can use your groundnut oil and soya bean oil. These are good
You
oils
can
which
do
you
oil
can rotate
rotation
them.
also.
Yeah, you can
Rotate
rotate them
them.
on a monthly
Yes.
basis.
After 3 months.
There's just one thing I'll add to it. Since we all spoke about carbs and proteins, we are kind of villanifying fats. No, we're not. Because
Absolutely
fats are
not, yeah.
equally important
Yeah.
to our body. Okay, without that visceral fat that we were talking about, which is actually a cushioning for your organ. Okay, so ऐसे नहीं कि वो zero होना चाहिए.
Exactly.
You need some amount, because if you're completely eliminating that fat, in the event of any shock, your body will not be able to protect your organs. Okay, so it acts as protecting your organs, these fats. So fats are important in a ratio.
Yeah.
So there we talk about the quality as well as quantity of oil. So what they spoke about is when they're saying use this, use that, is because they're trying to balance that quality. Okay, each oil has omega-3, omega-6, there's saturated fat, which is actually dangerous. Okay, so you have to maintain the ratio of MUFA, PUFA, SFA, which is usually 1:2:1. So that's why she speaks about oil rotation. When you rotate the oil, okay,
You can even rotate it
every
on
15
Every
days.
3 months you
Yes.
can
Yeah.
change.
So
Even
you
meals you
use
can
like
rotate.
there are nowadays oil blends also that are available,
Yes.
which are already blended. Okay, so you don't have to worry about abhi coconut oil use karna hai, mustard use karna hai, palm oil use karna hai,
Or
kya
you can
use
keep it
karna hai.
very simple. Maybe your breakfast you can prepare in a certain oil. Like at
Correct.
my place, mostly we have eggs. Quick, easy recipe, depends. Maybe you can just keep that. I'm going to use a particular oil, and my lunch and dinner is going to be in rice bran oil.
Simple
That is
as
something
that.
very simple.
And the amount which she take for that oil is 3 to 4 teaspoon is the visible fat that you have.
Yes.
There are food fats in the food also. They are the invisible fat. Like milk also have a natural fat.
Yes.
Dry fruits have
Dairy,
a fat.
all of
So
it.
these are invisible fats which are already there in the food. So your body anyways is not lacking in the fat, but the visible amount what is around 3 to 4 teaspoon which is recommended per day.
Which is usually half liter per person. So if you're a
Ah,
family
100
of
ml.
4, it's 2 liters per month.
No foods
Inclusive
are
of
bad.
oil and ghee both.
Yes, absolutely.
It can't be oil आधा liter और अलग से and ऐसे नहीं. It needs
And
to
आधा
be.
kilo butter नहीं
See, no
Everything,
nutrients are
butter,
bad. How you
everything
portion
together.
them, how you treat the treatment of cooking, the preparation, that's something which is very important. All food groups are important. All nutrients are important, because each one of them have a role to play in nourishing your body. But anything of excess or less, that's where the concern is. That's why you need to maintain the concept of letting it be balanced.
Okay, so this is never ending topic, so we have to stop it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so we might, have another meetup for this again, but we have to conclude this right now. So I think everybody has understood it. The balance is the key. Whatever it is, whether it is sleep, whether it is nutrition, whether it is your exercise, balance is the key. So thank you very much for
Thank
coming
you.
here
Thank you so much
and
for having
answering the
us.
questions so nicely and patiently and in detail. Thank you very
You were
much,
a
and thank
wonderful
you all of
audience.
you
Thank you so
for
much.
being
Everything
here.
is clear till now.
Yeah.
Thanks, Abhilal.